Hello, everyone. We are back again. Today is a happy Wednesday. I try to think about what day it is before we get on, but we get on it and I start talking. But it is Wednesday, and a lot of time, a lot of people also like Wednesday because it is half 2 days left, right, for work week. And this is actually a day my husband likes to take me out for happy hour
Oh,
when we get off from work. Yeah, it's really nice, and he says some sort of it helps, and which I accepted that happy hour invitation after I get out of work. So I look forward to that. We usually get some appetizers, and since
yeah.
I'm on cleansing right now, just no alcohol for me. But yeah, so I like that. So I am excited for my afternoon after work. How about you? What's going on?
I'm just working.
I know, I
Usually
know.
Thursday is working.
Yeah, yes, gotcha,
10-hour
gotcha.
days, but I get the 3-day weekend. So yay!
Yeah, that helps. Yes, I
Yeah.
would like to get. I would like to get there someday soon. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's start with our studying. We are on chapter 6. We are finishing up this chapter. The more we study this book, the more I start to realize the power of actually visualization and affirmations and writing your goals down and everything. And I'm so glad we are doing this because it's helping me a lot on my journey of our 90-day success. And I believe, I trust everyone is getting value out of this. So, hey, it's good. I'm happy we're doing this.
Me too.
Do you recall where we was at? I
Um,
know we have completed the affirmative method, so I believe the argumentative method is the next one.
okay. I don't have anything highlighted there, but
Highlight on that
you
one.
go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't start highlighting until the next section.
Which is the absolute method is like
Uh-huh.
okay. The argumentative method. This method is just what the word implies. It's it stems from the procedure of Dr. Fennis Parkhurst Kwambe of Maine. Dr. Kwambe, a pioneer in the mental and spiritual healing, lived and practiced in Belfast, Maine, about 100 years ago. A book called Kwambe Manuscript, published in 1921 by Thomas Y. Uh, Corwell Company, New York City, and edited by Hortio Desert is available in your library. This book gives newspaper accounts of this man's remarkable results in prayer treatment of the sick. Quambe duplicated many of the healing miracles recorded in the Bible. In brief, the argumentative method employed, according to Quambe, consists of a spiritual reasoning where you convey the patient and yourself that his sickness is due to his false belief and groundless fear and negative patterns lodged in his subconscious mind. You reason it out clearly in your mind and convince your patient that the disease or alignment is due only to distort, twisted pattern of thoughts which has taken form in his body. This wrong belief in some external power and external cause has now externalized itself as a sickness and can be changed by changing the thought patterns. He say, you explain to the sick person that the basis of all healing is change of belief. You also point out that the subconscious mind created the body and all its organs. Therefore, it knows how to heal it and can heal it, and it is doing so now as you speak. You agree in the courtroom of your mind that the disease is a shadow of the mind based on disease soaked morbid through imagery. You continue to build up all the evidence you can mastered on behalf of the healing power within. which created all the organs in the first place and which has perfect patterns of every cells, nerve, and tissues within, then you render a verdict in the courthouse of the mind in favor of yourself or your patient. You liberate the sick one by faith and spiritual understanding. Your mental and spiritual evidence is overwhelming. There being but one mind, what you feel as true would be resurrected an experience of the patient. This procedure is essentially the argument method used by Dr. Quambe of Maine from 1849 to 1869. So this is pretty much um, having the person accept the truth instead of the false, by having the person understand that he has been thinking wrong. And that caused him to have the sickness and to express it. And you say you have on the other side?
The absolute method is like modern sound wave therapy. Many people throughout the world practice this form of prayer treatment with wonderful results. The person using the absolute method mentions the name of the patient, such as John Jones, then quietly and silently thinks of God and his qualities and attributes, such as God is all bliss, boundless love, infinite intelligence, all powerful, boundless wisdom, absolute harmony, indescribable beauty and perfection. As he quietly thinks along these lines, he is lifted up in consciousness into a new spiritual wavelength, at which times he feels the infinite ocean of God's love is now dissolving everything unlike itself in the mind and body of John Jones, for whom he is praying. He feels all the power and love of God and now focused on John Jones. And whatever is bothering or vexing him is now completely neutralized in the presence of the infinite ocean of life and love. To the degree that we rise in consciousness by contemplating qualities and attributes of God, do we generate spiritual electronic waves of harmony, health, and peace. Many remarkable healings follow this technique of prayer.
Mm-hmm. I was going to point out where it says, when he point out the quality and characters of God.
Mm-hmm.
So that area where it says God is bliss, bound love, infinity intelligent, all powerful. So what I did is that, which some other person might also want to consider this. I recorded this with my own voice.
Oh, great! That's great.
Yeah, I recorded that with my own voice, and I listened to it, because this is what we, when we are talking about changing our thought pattern, this is the kind of information, by hearing it over and over and over, will change our thinking pattern, and will be able to heal us from the negative thoughts that we have ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that. Just in case if anyone want to do that as well. And then the next one, you have anything you want to share on that one?
Oh. I don't have anything there.
Okay. And the next one is a cripple walks. And this is Dr. Quambe, of whom we spoke previously. And this chapter used the absolute method, which the method you just read for us. In the later years of his healing career, he was really the father of medicine and the first psychoanalyst. He had the capacity to diagnose clairvoyant the cause of the patient trouble, pain, and aches. The following is condensed account of the healing of the cripple as recorded in Quambe's manuscript. Quambe was called on to visit a woman who was lame, aged, and bedridden. He states that her alignment was due to the fact that she was imprisoned by greed, so small and contracted that she could not stand upright and move about. She was living in a tomb of fear and ignorance, Furthermore, she was taking the Bible literally, and it's frightened her. In this tome, Kwambe said, was the presence and the power of God trying to the bonds, break through the bonds, and raise from the dead. When she would ask others for an explanation of some passage of the Bible, the answer would be a stone. Then she would hunger for the bread of life. Dr. Kwambe diagnosed her case as a mind cloud and stank due to exhaustion and fear caused by inability to see clearly the meaning of the passage of the Bible which she had been reading. This showed itself in the body by her heavy and sluggish feeling, which would terminate as paralysis. So she was exhausting her mind with misinterpretation of the passage, and she was not also being provided by a right person to release the scripture meaning of it, and which literally caused her to have a paralysis, which is a very scary situation, but that is a reality. Yeah,
The mind is so powerful.
it
So
is.
powerful.
He say at this point, Kwambe asked her what was meant in the Bible verses. Yet a little while am I with you, and then I go on to him that sent me. Y'all shall seek me, and y'all shall not find me. And where I am, there y'all cannot come. John 7:33-34. She replied that it means Jesus went to heaven. Kwambe explained what it really meant by telling her that being with her a little while meant his explanation of her symptoms, feelings, and their cause. He had compassion and sympathy for her mentality, but he could not remain in the mental state. The next step was to go to him that sent us, which, as Kwambe pointed out, was the creative power of God in all of us. So it's very interesting to me how we can be misinterpreting passages from the Bible and make like you say, our mind is very powerful and literally make ourselves sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Immediately traveled in his mind and contemplated the divine ideal, the vitality, intelligence, harmony, and power of God functioning in the sick person. This is why he said to the woman, therefore, where I go, you cannot come, for you are in your narrow, restricted belief, and I am in health. This prayer and explanation produced an instantaneous sensation, and a change came over her mind. She walked without her crutches. Quimby said it was one of the most singular of all his healings. She was, and as it were, dead to error, and to bring her to life or truth was to raise her from the dead. Quimby quoted the resurrection of Christ and applied it to her own Christ or health. This produced a powerful effect on her. He also explained to her that the truth which she accepted was the angel or idea which rolled away the stone of fear, ignorance, and superstition, thereby releasing the healing power of God which made her whole. So basically, he just had to clear out the wrong ideas, and she had to just release them and then take on the new information. And then she found her healing.
Mm-hmm. Just on the last one, he has the decree method. The power goes into our word according to the feeling and faith behind it. When we realize the power that moves the world is moving on our behalf and is backing up our word, our confidence and assurance grow. You do not try and add power to power, therefore, there must be no mental striving, coherence, force, or mental wrestling. A young girl used the decree method on a young man. I like this story. A young girl used the decree method on a young man who was constantly phoning her, pressing her for the date, and meeting her at her place of business. She found it very difficult to get rid of him. She decreed as follows: I release unto God. He is in his true place at all times. I am free, and he is free. I now decree that my words go forth into infinity mind, and it brings to pass. It is so. She said, he vanished, and she has never seen him since, adding, it was as though the ground swallowed him up. And he has Job 22:28 right under that. Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon their ways. And just a final touch. This is the last. This is the last page for that one. So we have the serve yourself with scientific truth. You have anyone that you want to point? I have a few of them.
Yeah, I've got a lot of them.
Okay.
Basically, all of them.
I know. These are meant to be memorized, really.
Yeah. Be a mental engineer and use tried and proven techniques in building a grander and greater life. The second one, your desire is your prayer. Picture the fulfillment of your desire now and feel its reality, and you will experience the joy of the answered prayer. Desire to accomplish things the easy way with the sure aid of mental science. You can build radiant health, success, and happiness by the thoughts you think in the hidden studio of your mind. Experiment scientifically until you personally prove that there is always a direct response from the infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind to your conscious thinking. Feel the joy and restfulness in foreseeing the certain accomplishment of your desire. Any mental picture which you have in your mind is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. A mental picture is worth 1,000 words. Your subconscious will bring to pass any picture held in the mind backed by faith. Avoid all effort or mental coercion in prayer. Get into a sleepy, drowsy state and lull yourself to sleep, feeling and knowing that your prayer is answered. And remember that the thankful heart is always close to the riches of the universe. To affirm is to state that it is so, and as you maintain this attitude of mind as true, regardless of all evidence to the contrary, you will receive an answer to your prayer. Generate electronic waves of harmony, health, and peace by thinking of the love and the glory of God. And what you decree and feel as true will come to pass. Decree harmony, health, peace, and abundance.
Oh, yes.
That's good.
Yep, let's
That was a
practice.
great chapter. I love that chapter.
It is a great chapter. Yeah, and I look forward to our next chapter, chapter 7. But this was good, and this chapter will discuss a lot about visualization, affirmation. So this is really good. But that needs to be combined taking actions, because some people can think just visualization and can. But yeah, I trust everybody got some wisdom today, and I look forward for our next chapter starting tomorrow, and also our special guest that's coming on Friday. So I'm so excited about that.
Yay.
But yes, but thank you so much for today, and have a beautiful day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.